In this week, we're going to think about AI risk. What do we mean exactly when we say AI risk? And the first starting point in this discussion comes from thinking in terms of dividing the possible risks in the short term and the long term. This is not as straightforward, and I'm mostly opting for this distinction here for the sake of framing the conversation of AI risk in a more accessible way. So try to think about these risks not as strictly divided between short term and long term, but have in the back of your mind this possibility that short term and long term could be intertwined in certain possible scenarios. For that reason, as I note here, short term does not necessarily mean that it's not happening in any sense right now. For example, you may know of many instances of misinformation on social media by using AI bots. You will have probably seen various deep fakes circulating around the web. You may already have a sense of what counterfeit people might be. There are already applications that you can download and you can have an AI friend and you can talk to them. You may have heard of instances of perhaps some cybersecurity issues that could arise out of the usage of AI. And you have probably seen how AI has already been used in many instances in the military by having AIs navigate drones. So it is short term in the sense that these phenomena will probably be exacerbated as we get to more improved systems and more powerful systems and more widespread applications of artificial intelligence. However, some of these are already happening, of course, in different degrees and in different settings. What we are interested in this course and the focus of this week is more of what I have called here long-term risks. And I wanted to flag that by long-term risks, I do not necessarily mean something that could happen in thousands of years. It's not like a phenomenon that's projected into the far future and does not concern your generation at all, or does not concern the people that are alive right now at all. That's what I mean by it could happen sooner than later. Maybe it's something that happens in the coming decades. I'm not trying to give you a very specific forecast here, but rather give you an idea of what this long term could mean. And if you've read parts of Human Compatible, you already know of this problem that is the alignment problem. And so the first risk that comes out of AI usage is this misaligned AIs that could get out of control. So at that point, it will no longer be a matter of how humans apply the technology. It will be a technology that's smarter than us, and that's what you see in the gorilla problem in Stuart Russell's chapter. And this is how we frame the existential risk to humanity. Something that's smarter than you by default could be more powerful than you, which means it's more likely to take over your resources or use you for whatever it has optimized for. And so for this week, it's very useful to start developing a sense of what these possible futures about AI takeover mean exactly and how it could happen. And part of the goal of this course is to see the features of the cognition of the AI that will lead to this possible outcome if this actually gets to happen. But we will make the case that because of how intelligence and rationality works, rationality meaning having a goal and using all possible means available to achieve that goal, this might make an AI takeover more likely. And as you know, we are particularly interested in this specific kind of artificial intelligence, the language model, which is why you get to read this paper specifically about risks posed by language models. Again, these are systems that are available right now and are widely used, and presumably they will continue to be found very useful across various domains of interest and many applications. So it's very useful for you to read a little bit more of detail about how the systems pose various societal risks, as you will see in this paper. For example, information hazards, hate speech, and all these risks that, as I mentioned earlier, would probably fall under this category of short-term risks or happening now risks. At the same time, once you have thought about this societal risks, you will want to spend a little more time on this idea of what does it mean to have systems that are more intelligent than you, and what are the kinds of risks they could pose to humans as a kind, as a species, to our entire civilization. And so in this chapter, you will get to learn more about this idea of the existential risk. And why do we call it existential risk? Exactly because it threatens our existence. And it's a very pleasant chapter to read, even though it's dealing with a pretty doomy topic. However, if you understand this, it will be very easy for you to argue about this possible future where super intelligent AIs could be misaligned, and essentially grasp the idea of the alignment problem and why it could play a very important role for the future of humanity.